Hi guys, and welcome to this new video. Now this is both going to be an unboxing video and an introduction for another new series. I know I have quite a few new series at the moment, but I'm going to try and keep on top of all of them and get as much content out as I can. But so today, as I say, we're introducing a new series and doing an unboxing of this plane, which as you can see, it only just fits on my camera, so it's absolutely massive. So let's open it up. Can you guess what it is yet? Sorry, paedophile voiceover. Right, so some of you may have seen this before. Some of you hopefully have had one of these before because they're brilliant. This is my second one. I crashed my one about September, October 2018. I'll put a video up in the corner. And I've been waiting to get one for quite a while. This turned up just after Christmas. I had to order it in from the States because nowhere in the country still has the kit form. But yeah, so this is a Strix Nano Goblin, if you didn't guess. So let's take a look. Let's get it out of the box. So it all comes in bubble wrap. Let's get that out of the way. And the first thing I'll show you is just the two vertical stabilizers. They just slide into the wings. It's all really thin, but it is EPP. But it's a lightweight plane. This is going to be a lightweight build using iNav. So that's what the series is going to be, is building this lightweight in iNav. So we have our vertical stabilizers there. And in this bag, we have the two halves of the fuselage. So the reason I've gone for the kit form is, one, because I still have all the parts out of the crashed plane, so there's no point in buying them all again. But also, I can make the kit lighter because you can actually get to everything easier, especially VSC. I mean, the hatch is quite large. So I pop that out. There's quite a lot of room to get into the plane, but not having anything on the top will make life a lot easier, and we can get everything built tighter and neater. So they're the two halves of the fuse, which just go together like that. So you can see the overall length is about 30 centimeters or 12 inches total fuselage length. Our next bag, cat here. This has been out before because I photographed it for my Instagram, so that's why it's got a bit of cat hair on it. So we have the wings, which again are really small, really lightweight. So from the body, you've got 25 centimeters. So yeah, it's really light EPP foam, just hole for servos, and then these bits that get glued in afterwards for all the wires. So I'm going to leave those bits until last. I should be able to sneak them in while it's in the fuse. So then it just gives me more options if I want to actually run stuff inside. I mean, I'm thinking about putting the GPS module or the VTX on one side, but that should be able to sneak in, yeah. So that's a good option for the build. So let's get an overall width on this thing, see if I can get it all on the camera. It doesn't quite fit. Halfway is 29 centimeters. 58 centimeters, yeah, 580 mil overall width. And the vertical stabs just go in there. So there we go, we've got an idea of what it looks like already. But these are fantastic little planes. I used to take this every time I went flying. So what else we get in the box is some spars. So we get I believe it's 3mm square spar, which is the main wing spar, which runs all the way through both sides. And it does extend quite far out, but if they build a high-speed one, I know they extend it out further into the wing, and I believe they put a second spar in as well. I mean, they've had these up to almost 170 miles an hour. Actually, I think one guy has gone faster, but he's not posted it up yet. And then we also get these really small, either 1 or 1.5mm spars that go across the back and inside the wing. So you can see here there's a fin channel, so you'll get a fin spar in there, and then there's also one that goes from here all the way through the fuse and into the other side of the wing. And what they've done, if I get the other pack out, you get a pack with all the bits in. So let's open this up. You get the carbon fiber motor mount. This is actual carbon fiber, not just textured shit. This is the real deal. You get the wooden supports, which I believe go like that, so that you glue those into the fuselage, and then the motor mount is sandwiched between the two and bolts together. Some Velcro. We all know what Velcro is. In here we have screws, we have the trap nuts for the motor mount, and we have magnets for the hatch, which is there. But what I was going to show you, that is the little pull thing for the lid, again carbon fiber. But what I wanted to show you were the control horns, which again are also genuine carbon fiber. But you can see, there you go, you can see a hole through the bottom of the control horn. Now I know Zod have done this as well with the Dart 250G, but this kit's about 2 years older than the 250G, so I think they did it first. So that slides through there, and then you put the carbon rod through the control horn. So the control horn, once it's glued in, will actually pull the carbon rod as well and give the control surface, I mean, you can see how flexible it is there, but with the rod in, it gives it a lot more control and stiffness. So yeah, I was impressed when I first saw that when I got mine. Yeah, about 2.5 years ago when they first came out. So yeah, that's basic. Oh, other than stickers, so you get just regular stickers. You also get these clear stickers to strengthen the ailerons. But actually, I was tempted to laminate, but it depends on the weight. But so yeah, stickers. And we also get, which is really good and you don't always get, is instructions, which I should have on here, proper CG and throws. Yeah, a lot of planes come with stuff that don't give you throws, which is a bit rubbish. If you design a plane, it should have optimum throws. But yeah, also CG, which, if I remember rightly, yeah, there are CG markers as well on the wing. So that's what you get in the box. So there's not really much more I can say about that at the moment. I know it's a brilliant plane, which is why I've ordered this one, the second one. The first one is actually still in a box, and I've pulled it apart. Bollocks. It's got a bit of a tear in the wing. The carbon spars are all broken, but I've actually managed to get the wings apart. I've cut the fuselage in half, and I'm actually going to make it to be a quicker Nano Goblin when I get round to it. I'm looking for decent motor options at the moment, but I want to try and make it go fast. That thing will be all laminated, stiffened up. But yeah, so let's get back to this video. Get that all out of the way. So as I mentioned before, I do have some parts from the original, which I'll be using on here, including the 2 servos, which are Emax servos rebranded for Strix. So here you can see that they are plastic geared, I believe, but they are digital. So and they can be run. So I can't see. Yeah, plastic geared. But yeah, they're digital servos and they do run at faster speeds. And they're fine for 6 volts as well, if you want to run them at 6 volts. I'll be running these at 5 volts, but that's purely because, as I say, this is going to be a low power, or not a low power, but a lightweight system. The other thing I have is this bag of bits from the old Goblin. So I still have, as you can see, that this came straight off. The prop's not even damaged in the crash. It was really annoying because it looked like it was going to be absolutely fine. Just got snagged in long grass. So this is the original Cobra. So 1407 3500 kV. So yeah, Cobra motor branded as Strix. So that will be going back in, but I will be shortening these leads down because I can do that now that the top's open. That will save some weight. I may even just ditch the bullet connectors and direct solder to this, which is the Strix ESC. Again, this is the original, I believe it's 10 amp ESC. The little label disappeared. But it has a 3 amp Beck in it. And as you can see the wires here. I used to power my servos directly off of the ESC. And I had these 2 wires here that would go off to the flight controller. So I had the voltage level, and I also have that was the control, but for the motor went to the flight controller, but it also powered the flight controller. So the 5 volts to run the flight controller came from the ESC. So people had issues with it, but I found absolutely no problems whatsoever. So from the Beck in this ESC, I was powering the flight controller, GPS, the servos, the camera, and the VTX. Everything was off of this. The only thing that wasn't powered by it was the motor, which was powered by the VBAT. Everything else, because I was running lithium ion, I wanted it to go down to 5 volts. I'm going to be doing the same thing again, but this time I won't be powering directly off of the ESC, just for a bit of safety built in. So that's all the stuff from the original. There's the 2 motor mount screws there. Also in this build, I'll be using a Maytech F405 standard flight controller. Now, you may be wondering why I'm opting to use this and not something like the Maytech F411 WSE. And the reason is weight and power. So the WSE needs 2S LiPo power to run. So you're looking at around 7 volts. So to run that, I would need a separate boost converter to boost up the power to run the flight controller, which then would would then buck the power back down to 5 volts for the servos, all that sort of stuff. So this here weighs about 7 grams, and the F411 WSE is 8.5 grams. So I have that flight controller. So what I'm going to have running with this are these 2 regulators here, and together they weigh around the same amount as the difference to the F411 WSE, but it gives me more options. This has more UARTs, it has a faster chip, it is a better flight controller. So I'm going to be using, the reason I'm using two is the amp draw through them. I'm going to be using the 9V purely for the video side, so that it won't have any interaction with the ESC or anything like that. So the video, this will come straight off of the power in from the XT30 plug, and then we'll go straight to the video, and then the video transmitter will power the camera. So that's all that is going to be used for, and the 5V is going to power the flight controller, possibly the servos. I may still use the back in here for the servos. I haven't decided that yet, but it will definitely be powering the flight controller and the accessories that come off of that, like the GPS module. So that will give me plenty of options for power, and it will still be lighter than, or about the same weight as the WSE board. The only thing it doesn't give me is a current sensor, but I have actually got an XT30 plug with a current sensor built in, which doesn't really weigh much difference. So that's the power options. Let's get this out of the way. I will be using a BN180 GPS. I have a 180T somewhere, so I may use that instead for better a slightly better signal, or slightly better chip. But I've used a 180 before. I know people say that the 220 is better because this doesn't have flash, but in all honesty, the cold boot time is about the same, and the warm boot on this is still pretty quick. So by the time I plugged it in, then got my goggles on, I've got satellites. So I've got no problem with this GPS whatsoever. I've used it plenty of times. For the VTX, I'm going to be using a Matek Mini VTX. Now this is 800 milliwatt, and if I open it up, it is tiny. And this is the reason I got this. This was one of, if not the lightest 800 milliwatt 5.8 gigahertz VTX I could find. I think there possibly was a TBS one that was slightly lighter, but the price difference was ridiculous. So you get an adapter plate if you want to put it on a 30.5 stack, but I'm going to probably embed this in the wing somewhere. So that will be my VTX. Got a microphone on board. So yeah, this is the only reason I've got that second back on there, is to power this, which has got a filtered power out. So you got the 5V there. So you got in, ground, 5V out, ground, video in, TLM. So it's telemetry. So it's tramp telemetry. So it's running on tramp telemetry, not smart audio. But I can still then use the global variables and global functions in iNav to change the power output as I get further away. So it's as power efficient as possible. And this runs on an MMCX connector. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to using that. Nice small light VTX. It does come with a little MMCX dipole, but I won't be using that. I'm still trying to decide what antenna to use. I have got a True RC side feed 5.8 APC-E. At the moment, that's the video side, or the video transmission side. For the camera, I'm going to be using this, which I'm really want to try out because it looks amazing. Many of you will have tried a Caddx Ratel, which has got I can't remember how you say the size, but it's got the big sensor in it, same size as a Runcam Eagle. It's the big sensor. It's what you want for image quality. Believe it or not, this baby Ratel has got the same size sensor, and this thing is absolutely tiny. There we go. So we're talking, here you go, fingertip size. This is a nano camera. Sorry, I've just looked it up online. Banggood are really helpful and put their label over all the important information. People at Banggood, just use a blank side of a box for your labels. Let us see the stuff on it. But yeah, sorry, So this is, it weighs 4.6 grams. So it's not the lightest of nano size cameras, but it has a 1 and 1.8 inch sensor in it, which most of these nano cameras have probably got a 1/3 inch. So the sensor in this is absolutely massive compared to what's in other nano cameras, which is why I'm really looking forward to try it. As I say, it's the same sensor that's in the regular mini sized Ratel. Well, actually it's a micro size, isn't it, a Ratel? But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Well, just to give you an idea, I mean, if any of you have had a Nano Goblin before, I mean, last time I had mine, I put a Micro Eagle in it. And that thing, I had to cut foam away. And the Micro Eagle is, I've actually got one up above my head, I'll grab it in a sec. But it's not a big camera, it's a small micro-sized camera. This baby Ratel, I'm going to have to pad foam out. It just disappears in the nose. There's, you can see, there's space around it. It's absolutely tiny. It'll be perfect for this build. So this here is what as the size a lot of people use now. This is a Foxeer Razor. So it's actually a really cheap camera. I'm testing out just to see how good the picture is. But I mean, this thing's 16 quid or 13 quid. So if it on specs, it looks as good as the old Predators. It's just a bit more plasticky. But it might be a great budget camera for cheap builds. So there we have it with the Micro. There's not a lot of size difference to the Micro. You put the Nano up next to it, massive difference. And then over here, this is what we used to use originally, the full size thing. This is just a ropey E-Sheen camera. But look at the size of it. It's like the size of a lens almost. So yeah, let's clear those out of the way. That's what's going in the Nano Goblin. Caddx Ratel, or Caddx Baby Ratel. So that is the FPV side. So the only thing that I've got available which is going in it is Crossfire Nano receiver. And I'm going to weigh up using the thin cable antenna that comes with it, or potentially I may use one of these instead. It depends on positioning and weight. This is the Video Aerial Systems XFire Pro. So it's nice and flexible. It's easily as good as the whip in there, but there's pretty much no nulls on this thing. It's an incredible design antenna. So I may use that. I need to weigh up the weight towards the end of the build. So maybe, I don't know, it probably wouldn't be the best, but I could put it on the front. So, or actually, what would probably be better is on the wing. I know it'd be mounted horizontally, but I'm using 5.8, so I'm not going to get anywhere near the range of Crossfire. As long as I mount my transmitter antenna horizontally, it would be perfect. But as I say, there's not really any nulls with this antenna. So if you're running 900 megahertz range stuff, check this out. It's a really impressive design. So I may run that in one wing and the VTX in the other wing to get maximum separation. That's what I'm leaving that open, so I can get all this sort of stuff in here. And then the Nano Crossfire is tiny as well, so that would fit in no problem. But we'll cross those bridges when we get to it. This is just an introduction to the series and the build, which, as I say, that's pretty much everything apart from the VTX antenna. So what we'll be doing in the next video is actually putting the foam together. So I will see you on the next one. As I say, this is going to be a full iNav build. It's a little bit different. I will be doing a more regular iNav build using an AR wing, and what I'll be doing for that is mostly sticking to Mark Hoffman's guides on the iNav Fixed Wing Group website, which is inavfixedwinggroup.com. So I'll be doing the speed build on that and using, I think he uses F405 wing, so much more standard components, so it'd be easier. This is more trying to get it as light as possible. I want this to be under 250 grams with a 2S Lion pack, but we'll see. It should be easy enough to do with a Nano Goblin, but I thought it's a bit of a different build series, so why not do it? But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one when we get actually started on building it. Cheers. Don't forget, fly them like you stole them. Bye.